It's time for this week's Crumbl review. We did the 4 weekly flavors, which are all centered around St. Patrick's Day, so let's get to trying. I would like to preface this video by saying that I truthfully don't think I'm really going to enjoy any of the flavors of this week just because they're not flavors that I particularly enjoy, but we're going to be starting out with the key lime pie cookie first. Here's what the piece looks like up close. Cheers. Cheers. As someone who does not like key lime pie, my favorite part of the cookie was the graham cracker crust. I thought that was delightful. I do think it tastes like key lime pie. It's just not something that I enjoy, so I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10, but I think the flavor that they were going for was very well executed.
I definitely actually disagree a little bit on that. I do enjoy key lime pie. I'm going to give it more like a 7.2 because it's not a go-to for me, but the crust is really perfect. I think they could make different flavors of pie, and maybe you would enjoy that. And I really like the whipped cream topping that they're doing. Very good.
Next up, we're going to be trying the mallow cream cookie featuring Lucky Charms on top. Here is a close-up of the cookie. It looks like it has what they're calling white drops on the inside, and then obviously it has the marshmallows on the top there. Cheers. This one I feel like was actually pretty good. I don't think the frosting or icing really tastes too much like marshmallow, which I enjoy as someone who doesn't love marshmallow. The Lucky Charms marshmallows on the top do give it a nice texture, and I actually don't mind the white chocolate chips inside the cookie either. I'm going to give this one a 7.2. Still not my favorite just because I don't love marshmallow, but I actually did enjoy it more than I thought I would.
I'm going to give it more like a 7.8. Personally, I do like it. I think that with how thick the cookie is, it's cooked perfectly. It's nice and easy to eat, and the white chocolate on the inside gives it a nice touch.
Next up, we have the cereal milk cookie, which looks like something like Fruity Pebbles on the top here. Here is what it looks like up close. It's supposed to have a milky glaze on top and then be topped with the fruity cereal. Cheers. I don't think the cookie was necessarily what I was anticipating it to taste like. I think one qualm I have with it is our Fruity Pebble things on the top are pretty crushed up, and in the picture you can see that they're kind of like whole, which I think would add a little bit of a different textural element, and I'm not really getting any of the milky glaze per se. I'm going to give this cookie, I think, a 7 out of 10.
I could pretty much agree with that. Maybe more like a 7.2. I do think that the Fruity Pebbles add a nice flavor, but I do agree I'm not getting a ton of the glaze.
Last up, we have the Andes Green Mint Brownie. So there's a brownie, and then there's this minty green buttercream, the chocolate ganache, and then it's topped with the Andes mint on top. There is a close-up of it.
Cheers.
Cheers. I think this brownie is my favorite flavor that we had of this week's box. I don't really care for mint too much, but I do think this is tolerable, and I do think it tastes exactly like an Andes mint or like the mints you get at Olive Garden when you're done eating. So I think I'm actually going to give this a 7.5 out of 10.
I give more like a 7.7. I love the brownie. I think that little buttercream